The capable and most successful space company in the world, SpaceX has been ranked on the list as the only space company that is thriving hard to make sure that Starship lands on the Moon and Mars. Not only that, but transporting the Starship across different continents of the world should be a routine that will be achieved through SpaceX with higher rate of success without any rocket explosion. Elon Musk has dedicated his life to building Tesla. This luxurious electric car company is now trending in the US. It means if you don't own one Tesla car, you're not using one of the trending 21st century electric vehicles in the world. Eventually, he moved into the space industry and changed the game. His success in space in a decade has already intimidated his competitors that have been in the space game for a long time. Now he has made the Starship trend all over the world, but making the Starship land on the Moon or Mars is another pending success. In Elon's goal, we are yet to celebrate. And some of the problems preventing the Starship from launching into space are the heat shield tiles falling off when the 33 Raptor 2 engine is fired, the launch stand blowing up into pieces at the blast of the 33 Raptor's 2 engine, and the booster fuel pipe leakage. But SpaceX now claims that there is a viable solution to save all these problems and get all 33 Raptor 2 engines to blast off without any flaws. In this video, let's find out the viable SpaceX solution to tackle these problems. To discover more about Elon Musk's brilliant approach to save all 33 engines named after the Mechagodzilla character from the Godzilla movie franchise, if you have the chance and close to Boca Chica, Texas, take a walk and see for yourself SpaceX's tall Mechagodzilla launch tower. You'll surely be grateful about what your eyes will behold. The tower is one of the most ambitious assets of a spaceflight project that is already breaking new ground. SpaceX will deploy 33 Raptor engines to power the Super Heavy first stage and on the Starship's upper stages to ensure that each test flight ends in a violent splashdown in the ocean or with a vehicle that cannot be reused. The company will lose 39 Raptor engines, which is a stunning amount of engines in terms of cost and wasted manufacturing time. However, Musk will not allow such a waste and let go of what he spent his whole life developing the Starship project. Elon Musk is so strongly considering using the Starship's launch tower to catch Super Heavy before landing on Earth. SpaceX has ambitious plans for the Mechagodzilla. Musk said in December 2020 that the company intended to leverage the launch tower's arms to snag the Super Heavy booster upon its return to Earth. And some Musk fans have already made animations based on their imaginations of how it may function. Musk provided additional details about how it might work on August 30th, 2021. The booster will likely use 2 pins for lifting and catching. Musk mentioned that it may be preferable to change grid fins to withstand the greater weight. The Starship would feature something that would flip out from the windward side. Maybe it's part of the forward flaps, but it needs to be treading on the tank treads that will pull the booster out to align it with the orbital launch pad so it can launch again. The proposal is a dramatic deviation from SpaceX's previous reuse efforts for the semi-reusable Falcon 9 rocket. A land-based launch pad or sea-based autonomous drone ship returns the first stage booster to Earth. As recommended on August 13th, using the tower to collect the booster and ship eradicate the need for landing legs on their way back to Earth. Until there is a local infrastructure, the Starship will only require legs for missions that land on Mars or other planets. Note that the Falcon 9 boosters used their legs to support themselves as they landed on the drone ships on August 4th. Musk also said that the tower could move the rocket with up to 2 degrees of freedom, that is, up and down, as well as left and right. Musk shared that instead of a concrete pad on the ground, the booster seems to be landing on a very small patch of steel on the tower's Mechagodzilla arms. Aside from a little side-to-side movement, the arms don't seem to move. During the simulation, Super Heavy is shown to slow down gradually. Near the end, it seems to hover for almost 10 seconds. The challenge is, if SpaceX, for some reason, made Falcon boosters land on 2 elevated ledges about as wide as car tires, this would mean a slow, careful descent. And slower landing may be needed because Super Heavy has to be so accurate to land on a pair of hard points with inches of lateral margin and wait for another Starship to come from space and get fixed on it. If there are any problems when the Super Heavy booster lands on the Mechagodzilla tower, the Starship or Super Heavy could accidentally hit the launch tower and damage or even destroy it. Since the booster already has flammable propellant tank that could break if it hits something very hard, the explosion will be crazy. So there is a lot of work still for SpaceX to do over here. The high risk of any catch attempt means that SpaceX will have to be very careful and use a lot of ships and boosters to keep its only Starship launch tower from being destroyed. If it works, it's pretty cool, but there's not much room for error. Longer arms for catching are needed, and the Mechazilla tower can be made more stable with 2 strong trays with built-in stress relief. The lifting winch and cable may also need to be changed to give the heavier catching arms more space for movement. With the way things are now, it's unlikely that a clean catch can be made, so it's important to make more changes. If these changes aren't made, we should expect a great destruction on the launch tower. If Musk doesn't push the first stage, he should have enough fuel to land it in a safe place, and if the rocket is still stable, fly to the tower and be caught. It will be mostly empty and very light on the way down. It would only take 2 or 3 engines at most, and the Raptor engines can be turned down to about 40% power. Or SpaceX could come up with a completely different idea. The Falcon 9's legs could be used to slow down and steer the Starship rocket, and the paddles could be completely taken away. They could do the same thing with booster, at least for the early flights. Once the flights are successful, they could switch back to whatever sophisticated method they intend to use. The tower can catch the rocket and move it back into place on the launch pad. This could help SpaceX reuse rockets faster than we've ever seen before. It will take a Falcon 9 booster 20 to 21 days and 6 hours to prepare for another flight after the last one. Musk said that he wanted Starship to be able to fly 3 times a day. Musk might need this fast turnaround time if he wants to build a city on Mars by 2050. In 2019, he said that the city would need about 1 million tons of cargo to be self-sufficient, assuming each ship could carry 100 tons. That means SpaceX will have to make 10,000 flights over the next 30 years, or about 333 per year. That's a huge number, but when will it be used for the first time? Probably soon, since SpaceX wants to try the Starship booster catch in the first orbital launch, which will likely happen soon. It may sound like a stupid idea to send hundreds of thousands of people to Mars to bring the materials needed to build a colony. It's as if someone made the most expensive and wasteful plan ever on purpose and went with it. SpaceX will have to build a cargo ship and send the supplies in 3 separate shipments, the same way that everything was sent to the ISS. The first should have robots to start building and laying out infrastructure. The second would include more supplies, robots, and a few key people. Musk's promise to colonize Mars and make it self-sufficient for human settlements requires that the planet would not only have to provide its own food, water, electricity, and fuel, but also be able to manufacture replacement parts, tools, electronics, and computers. This would require extensive mining, smelting, and production operations. To reproduce endlessly, you would also require a population of approximately 5,000 individuals, although a large number would be preferable. We're still determining if people can withstand Mars's low gravity over the long term, which is the greatest obstacle. Do you think SpaceX can successfully land the Super Heavy booster, having 33 Raptors and 2 engines on the Mechazilla launch tower? This could be sooner than we think. Did you know? SpaceX announced first static fire lifting 300 tons of Raptor engines that will change space? Click on the video to know more.